Hello, craftspeople. Today, for the new event in the Miliastra Creator server, I'm going to create an environment that is lightly spooky. I'm very motivated to do this, as you can see, for the last videos that I made for Miliastra Wonderland. I earned 800 US dollars just for the videos alone. As you see here, Yummy Places in the silver tier. I don't know if many of you know this, but there is a official Miliastra Discord server. It's called the Genshin Impact Creator Front. And every month there will be an event where you can earn a lot of dollars. Basically, the idea is this. This is for stages and assets. So even if you're not very good in programming and don't think that you can create a game yourself, you can just create an asset, just a vending machine, for example. Like, if you have a look at what assets actually won the $600, let's see. Vending assets, yeah. Like someone did a vending machine, or an arena, or a swimming pool. You know, you can just craft these things with the objects that are available to you. And if you hand them into those events, then there's a very good chance of earning money, or at least Primogems. So my plan for the current spooky event is to create an environment and a stage that focuses mainly on darkness and auditory feedback. And I will also create an environment. And today I want to create this spooky environment and see what the editor has in stock for us when it comes to that. So the very first thing that I tried out here is how I can block out light. And I actually thought about like creating just some walls. But to be fair, this is not important. If I go into the stage now, it should definitely be pitch dark. Yes! Very nice. So, to do something like this, you need to adjust the environment in Miliastra Wonderland. When you are in your terrain editor, yeah, as you see, everything is still daylight here. There's a few things you have to change if you want to fix the time and to make it as dark as possible. These settings you find here in the stage settings. And quite important, it is that you put the time elapsed per second to 0. So that fixes the time. You can also set the time here, which time we currently have, or use the slider for that. But that's not all. To make it work like it did, I also had to adjust another thing in the environment configuration, and it is the weather. To create this pitch blackness that you have here, you have to create fog. So basically you just add one here and change the weather type to fog. You have to disable auto switch with time so that it stays consistent. And then you have some settings here that change the appearance of the fog, like how far the radius is, for example. You can see that if you change some of these here, that's sky fog. We're talking about high fog. High fog is the one that's around you, yeah? So usually this will be more like a grayish kind of thing. You can change what color you want for the fog. But I just went for a very, very black, actually. But I might want to go for a very dark purple instead, because purple is the best color. And you can set the radius, how far you can see with the fog distance. So far, so good. Now we have a dark room. My idea with this stage was that there is 2 different factions, like a Seeker, and I haven't named that yet, and people who will have to walk to find and capture. Let's go out here so we can actually see something. My main idea is that I have an environment here, and I have several of these totems in the stage. I might want to spawn them dynamically, though, like so you can never know where they really are. Because the idea is that a lot of players has to go to these and charge them up. They win if all of them are charged up. And we have 1 or 2 people that need to be Seekers. So what they do is try to catch all of the people that want to activate these. Very simple idea. The fog, I want to be thicker for one of them, because these things here will make a beeping sound or some kind of auditory feedback. And the Seekers actually cannot see the players that are charging these. They have to find that by sound. So as soon as someone charges this thing, it will create a sound that has quite a wide range. Yeah, this has 50 meters for now. Not quite sure if that's the maximum value. No, it is not. So you could basically change the radius of these things to, what's the maximum? See? 1,000. Okay, 1,000 is a lot, though. And it is a 3D sound, so you can at least localize them when you're wearing. See? If you hear that in stereo, then you will definitely hear that the sound comes from a different location now. So that's the core idea. Very simple, very, very lean. But I wasn't happy with just the plain environment. So what I'm going to do today is to create a funny little spooky forest. While I'm eating the sushi that I made. Nice. Okay. So the first step in this environment was to create the fog. The next thing is the terrain. Right now, this is a very straight and flat terrain, which might be kind of boring. I could probably create a very random environment, which would be better for my game design. But I think I'm gonna change that to some kind of forest, I assume. So what I can do, which is also a quite a nice feature, the random environment generation. And in here, we can set a volume that will then generate random assets that we give it. Just kind of stretch that to the whole width of the thing. Not quite sure whether that's big enough still. Might be kind of boring. But what you can do with these scene generation templates, you can add some assets. For example, we want a tree. With that tree at that. And I think that we have something similar. Not really at that tree. Or maybe, was it called that tree? No. I think that's probably the closest to that tree that we get. Tofu sushi, yes. If you configure an asset, yeah. You can set variations for rotation and zoom so that they're not the same size and are differently rotated. It's also not everything that I want. I also want the other trees that are here. Yes. Oh, there is a tree layer. And the rock layer. Then I might have rocks instead. Like, ugh. We don't want them to be so big. So we make 0.2 to 0.5. We don't want buildings. We don't want shrubs and stuff. Oh, why not? Not these, maybe. Still very likely that I would just do it myself. Let's take. So we want a tree layer. That trees. Just to give it a more spooky vibe. Have vegetation. We don't need decoration. Okay. So let's try that out. whether that works. Model. Okay. Not quite sure what these are. Confirm generation. Let's see what they did. Okay. I mean, that's pretty random. But it also might just be too much. And I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I can still change this, yeah? Random generation. Rent source news. Generates based on terrain. Unfortunately, we cannot really have tilted terrain now. So let's quickly have a look how that looks now. Tree. Ah, okay. That kind of works. The terrain itself is still kind of... I think I want some dirt. Some way. So let's get back to the environment. Use some dirt brush. Oh, that's... Ooh, that's lava. Ah, I forgot. You create your dirt tracks here. You need to select the road tool in the environment editor. So you can just draw some ways here. Somewhat in the middle of these trees. Not sure if I really want this though. I don't really want to lead people directly where it is. I do think that I'm just going to put some random spawn points here, like 10 or 20, and it will always be different ones. But that also means that I can have terrain, actually. If there's just some preset points that I will designate, then that's fine. If I need to automatically place them somewhere, I would have troubles to know on which height I'm going to spawn that thing, for example. So the more confusing the ways are, the better, I assume. Because the whole idea of this map is that you have to hear where you have to go. So yeah, that would be the base for my spooky forest. Of course, unfortunately, my stage will be super dark and pitch dark, so you cannot really see a lot. Like, it's not like this. But this is how you get like a spooky atmosphere. With the high fog, you see that everything also looks dark. And this is basically how you create a spooky environment in Miliastra. A lot of this is just lighting really. What you could also do is to add some more light sources. Right. So what I could do no, I won't find my totems. Is to add a light source, right? Because if you want to have atmosphere in your stage, you want it to look good. Also, not only in Miliastra Wonderland, this is like a general advice in all gaming engines like Unity and Unreal Engine. Light brings a lot of effect. Like, it doesn't matter whether your environment is not great and you don't have the best modeling skills or whatever. You can do very much with auditory design, so sound design and lighting. I haven't looked into the lighting here much, but I definitely do know that you can add these. Have the regular point light and spotlights, right? You can adjust the radius here. You should be able to change the foggy night. Ah, that's in which environments the light will be there. That's very good to know. That's a point light. And we want another red light. Yeah, because it's spooky. If I put these on there. I'm really intrigued how that will look. Whether we can actually see it. Even through the high fog. I thought it was here. No? Maybe it's not this one. Doesn't seem to work though. Light source. Maybe the range is not high enough. That was there, so meh. My environment should be foggy night, and my light source is here. Where is it though? Oh. Where's my light source manager? Okay. I think it's here somewhere. Manage light source. Try a spotlight instead. Red spotlight. High intensity. Active range. What does that do? I'm not quite sure. Okay, I'm not quite sure whether I can enable and disable those light sources yet. This would be great. So while charging up the totems, for example, we could add a light source here so that the seekers have an easier time to find the others. Not quite sure. It really seemed to work. But actually, I do see something now. Okay. Wow. That is not a strong light. But that brings us to the next thing for a spooky atmosphere, I think. In the environment settings, you can also adjust background here. Right now you don't see too much. I'm not quite sure what that is. That's the scene generation template? No, not really. That's not where I wanted to go. But yeah, what I want to do is basically don't have a heaven, right? Don't have a skybox. So I set the intensity to 0, but of course you can play around with these. You want it to be less dark than mine at the moment, which is kind of a game design feature that it's pitch dark. But let's put the high fog away for a second, yeah. Just so we can see how you could change the heaven here. We'll definitely change the light color, skybox color. Let's just disable the weather for now, because that makes it really hard to see what I'm doing here with the environment. And you can set your heaven. I would definitely, for a spookier one, I would probably go for the dusk setting here, the purple. You can play around with that. Oh wait. Hello Lumina. Didn't see it because my streamer bot was not on. I'm sorry. You can set the time point here, yeah, and depending on what day or night it is. Of course, if you want to go spooky, then it's probably quite nice to have night. And we can set all the colors. I personally really like purple as a spooky color. And if you don't go so ham-fisted on the fog edit, but keep that in a more reasonable kind of values, like maybe 1 meter high fog, I don't know. And then what you want to add is stuff in the heaven, probably. I do have a moon. I just don't know where it is. Somewhere here. Where is it? Can I have moon, please? Where's the moon? Is that moon? I'm not sure. I know that there are more elaborate skyboxes. But for me, it was literally not necessary to have that. But yeah, I will still work on this a little bit. Also off stream. And will present my asset later when I really want to do like a spooky forest asset. See whether I can make that. I can make that nice. This was really just quick and dirty now. I definitely might want to like shove certain things around that I didn't like. You know, adjust everything more to the paths, to the random paths that I built. Fix the skybox. And then I'm gonna export these as an asset. But yeah, for now that's the environment that I will probably use for my new stage. Just want to put the fog back because I really needed pitch black here. Would be nice if I had a starry night though. The moon. This doesn't seem to do anything, really. And I make the stars bright enough so they will go through that fog? I don't think so. Yeah, also galaxy would be nice. Yeah, I don't... Ah, there it is. Such a beautiful skybox. But yeah, unfortunately, right now my fog is too thick to see any of this. I'm not sure if I can reduce the size of the fog, maybe to like 5. Nah. I think during fog, I was not able to see this. Maybe? Distance fog. Oh. Aha. And I have this and a sky. That would be nice. I'll go below 5 meters here. I think that's fine. Not dark enough. I think I like the looks of the stars and the moon better than not being able to see anything. What's my threshold here? Oh, there's still a little bit of stars now with 15. Let me go to 12. Oh, there's stars. How dark is it? Let's go. I mean, it's relatively dark still. My issue is that you could now see people running here, right? Because you have that very hard cut horizon. That's definitely something that I want to change. But this can also be very simple. I need invisible walls around the area anyway, so you cannot fall down. And what I could do is literally to just take rocks and make some platforms. Yeah, or rocks, mountains, these kind of things. And to create mountains is pretty easy in Miliastra Wonderland compared to the teapot. You just take anything and scale it up. And this should fix two of my problems. First off, we don't want to make this climbable, yeah. So what we have to do is deactivate the climb function on these. Now we just take another one. Scale that up to ridiculous amounts. Oops. And use that as a wall here. I probably have to scale up the whole environment anyway, because it appeared a little bit small for the gameplay that I'm intended to. Did I have intended? Yeah. But I think these walls should also occlude the horizon, so if somebody is running there, you have to hear them and you cannot see them. The whole idea. That. Okay. So, now we take the one. Point. Okay. So this should definitely fix the issue with the horizon. Yeah. Now you cannot see anyone running. You can only hear them. Which is great. And yeah, I still have a moon and stars. And a galaxy. That's super fine. Yeah, and basically that is how I create very simple environments. They're not very elaborated, as you might say, right? It was really... what was it? Half an hour or so that I spent on this. But now I have a stage. Now I just need to fill in some behaviors for my objects, and then I could already playtest it. So I hope you are informed or entertained by this. If you do, please consider doing the algorithm things. And see you in Miliastra.